Good morning. Good morning. I didn't think I was start. I'm starting a little bit too early, but good morning. This is Reverend Sue. I'm Columbus, Ohio, and you have tuned into our Thursday morning rest for the justice seeking soul. And let me share something. This is the last day of October. When we come back next Thursday, we will have done this election. And I'm a little nervous about it because I'm not sure that everybody understands how important it is to vote. You've heard people say that your vote is your power, and it really is. And what I do know is that um, in order for Kamala Harris to beat Donald Trump, even though I don't even understand why that isn't a, a thing, I don't know why he's allowed to run for office, and he's a convicted felon and been convicted of sexual impropriety. Let me put it that way. The only way that he is not going to get into office is that there are so many people who vote that the results cannot be disputed. Now, I have read that there are plans. Mr. Trump and the Speaker of the House have a plan. They have a secret. I know it's corrupt. I know it's crooked. I know that they're already planning to steal the election. Hear me when I say that. And they've been planning this for some time. I know what they really want to do is do whatever they're trying to do behind the scenes so that they can create a case and then push that case to the Supreme Court. And if it goes to the Supreme Court, and if the Supreme Court throws it back to the House of Representatives, even though maybe you voted down ballot and there are enough Democrats in the House to um, to support your candidate, if it's Kamala Harris, what they want to do is take it for the Supreme Court to determine it, or the House, where the speaker will still be in control and in power. You have to understand that they are playing to win. They've been playing to win for a very long time. This is strategic to its core, and we have to realize that this is not a normal election. I said some time ago when I was watching what was going on with the former president, I said, he's not campaigning. He isn't even worried about what he's saying or doing. It's like he does have a secret. When he danced around the stage for 39, 40 minutes, I thought, what in the world? And I've gotten angry at mainstream media that just seems to let him have his way. Just crazy to me because they were so down on Joe Biden. And Joe Biden was old. We all understand and knew that, but he wasn't out of his mind. He had a sharp mind, even if he talked slowly. He had a very sharp mind. He knew what he was talking about. This guy um, doesn't know anything about anything really except money and greed and power. So he's a very dangerous person to put in office. And for the life of me, I cannot understand why anybody would vote for him. I do not understand why the race is close. I don't understand it, and it bothers me. But be that as it may, this is what I know, that this is going to be a tough, tight election. Um, I'm going to be nervous. I'm not going to panic, but I'm going to be nervous about it. And I would suppose everybody else is nervous too. But this is what I need to tell you: vote. And if you are a Democrat, vote down ballot. Even if you are a Republican who is voting Democratic this election, vote down the ballot. Because we not only need, let's say, Kamala, obviously, y'all, I'm for Kamala. We not only need her to be the president, but she needs to have a working body, a working Senate, a working House of Representatives where she can get some things done. She has outlined policies, things that she wants to do, but that'll never happen if she doesn't have the House and the Senate. So you have to vote down ballot. The other thing is you have to be very, very careful when you're voting down ballot. You are voting for people in your own cities and states that will help you and your interests, help take care of you. You have to be very, very careful. People always want to vote for the president, and they don't pay much attention to their local politics. But local politics kills us. Local politicians and all the gerrymandering and all of that kills us. So you have to vote down ballot. You have to understand the structure of the government, and you got to understand that it's bigger than the president. How about that? It is bigger than the president. And so you have to vote number one. These numbers have to be astronomical, so astronomical that they cannot do what they're planning to do. And then you have to make sure you're taking care of yourself on the local level. Now, part B of that, let's say your candidate or candidates get into office. This is where we fall short. We elect them, but we don't hold them to accountability. That means that even as you're voting, and I'm hoping everybody or as many people as possible have voted early and will vote early. You have one more weekend, one more Saturday here in Ohio to do it. Um, you have to understand that the numbers are going to be critical. So you have to vote. Now, let's say, you know what, Kamala, I'm going to ask you this. Do you want your rights as an American? Because even though the other side has distanced itself from Project 2025, trust and believe that Mr. Trump is right in there with them. They're distancing themselves because it got such pushback and they realized that it was bad politically for them. But he's all in it. He's behind it. He's in it. He's around it. And if he gets into office, because of the policies in Project 2025, he could lose our rights: our freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, all of that, and so much more. So please understand what's at stake and vote. Even if you don't like Kamala, vote so that you can save your rights, and not just your rights, but the rights of your children and grandchildren and great grandchildren, and all of the children that are coming after you. Right? Because it's not just about us. So this is Halloween. And on this day here in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, I'm going to be doing a workshop at the Reynoldsburg Library on Project 2025, and I invite you to come. I'm primarily looking to talk with the men, but if anybody else wants to come, please do. We start at 6. We'll be done at 7:30, 8 at the latest. And I just want people to know what Project 2025 is, because still so many people don't know what it is. And these people are serious about implementing it. So need for you to come and visit us at the Reynoldsburg Library. It's out on Bryce Road in Reynoldsburg. But meantime, and if you can vote early today, please do. And if you can talk to somebody and get him or her to vote early, please do. And then if you're going to vote on election day, please do. And take as many people with you as possible. It's so critical. So critical. So anyway, good morning. This thing started earlier. I switched to a new platform and it started a little bit earlier. So I'm sorry if you're just getting in, because I've been talking since about 6:57. But you have come to Thursday morning, a reading from my book, Rest for the Justice-Seeking Soul. And if you don't have that book, you can still purchase it. I always like to push it at Christmas time because it makes a good gift. But a lot of times I read right from the book. You can get it at any bookseller. I read right from the book, and because there's only 90 meditations in there, what I have resorted to is reading to you the meditation that I write weekly. Every single Tuesday, I write a meditation and I send it out to people on the distribution list. And so if you want to be on that list, you just email us, crazyfaith2019@gmail.com, and we will send it to you. I will send you a meditation every single Tuesday. These meditations were written with us, with you in mind, you who are fighting for social justice, because it's a hard fight and it can be so discouraging. And what I've always wanted people to know is that you're not by yourself, that there are so many people that have come before you and they have been on the same battlefield. And so I want you to be encouraged and be strengthened. On Sunday, I talked to, in my sermon, I quoted, I was going from Galatians, the 5th chapter, 1st verse, where it says, "Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ has set you free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage." And that's what I'm trying to tell people. Don't let things make you think that your vote doesn't count, because it does. But I quoted the words of a mother, the mother of a state representative, I'm sorry, who was dying, and she said to him, "Do not let them take away our votes." And so I said to our people, don't let them take away your freedom. Too much has been done. Too many fights have been gotten, and too much is at stake. We've done too much to get to where we are. That's women, that's men, that's Black people, that's brown people, that's the LGBTQIA community. That's so many people, and so I need for us to understand that and fight and not lose our freedoms. Not lose our freedoms. But anyway, the meditation for today is, because I think there's a need for this, is about the power of laughter. We have to make ourselves laugh. We have to make ourselves laugh. Laughter is healing. Laughter helps you get some stuff out of your system that might get in the way of you doing all that you can in a particular time, whether you're sick physically or sick emotionally or troubled or bothered. Laughter is so good. And so I did this meditation this week on the power of laughter, and it's called Blessed Are Those Who Laugh. And it reads, years ago, I read a book by Norman Cousins entitled Anatomy of an Illness. It was fascinating, so much so that I could not put it down. Mr. Cousins, who at that time was the editor of the Saturday Review, a magazine known for its political and cultural commentary. In 1964, Cousins was diagnosed with a painful and debilitating disease, which I later learned was ankylosing spondylitis. I don't remember the technical name of the disease was in the book, but we were told, the readers were told, that it was a degenerative disease of the connective tissue called degenerative collagen illness. In that year, Cousins, who had been perfectly healthy, was admitted to a hospital with severe pain, a high fever, and near paralysis of his neck, back, and legs. He was virtually unable to move. His prognosis was bad. The doctors told him that he would gradually get worse and that there was nothing that they could do to stop the degeneration. They came up with a treatment plan filled with drugs that he would be given to hopefully slow the process. But Cousins rejected their treatment plan and their prognosis. In his work as an editor, as a writer, as a journalist, he had studied and learned about the ways disease and illness is handled in different countries by different cultures. And he recalled that in one of the places he'd visited, doctors used high doses of vitamin C to treat diseases that were similar to his. He had also come to realize the power of the human emotions on the body, both negative and positive. Using what he had studied and what he spiritually believed to be true, he rejected the doctor's treatment plan and prescribed for himself daily massive doses of vitamin C and scheduled times every day where he would watch something that caused him to laugh. And I'm not talking about a chuckle, but I'm talking about a guffaw, a laugh hard from deep down in his belly. You guys know how that feels. It's a wonderful thing. He prescribed his treatment plan to them, which included both vitamin C and laughter. The latter inspired, or would be inspired, by movies that he would watch every day, including some featuring the Marx Brothers and reruns of Candid Camera and more. And everybody knows what things makes them laugh. If I were sick like that, I would listen to Sinbad. I mean, because he's crazy. Or I would listen to Richard Pryor, because he's crazy. They're fun. There's so much fun. There's so much fun. It's fun to laugh. Long story short, he laughed his way to a successful recovery. Y'all hear me? He laughed his way to a successful recovery. I am still as fascinated by that story as I was when I first read it. He knew and took his thesis to the medical school at UCLA to get his theory researched, encouraging them to answer the question of how humans can improve their health by having positive emotional responses, deep laughter being one of them. Recounting his experience years later, he said, I made the joyous discovery that 10 minutes of genuine belly laughter had an anesthetic effect and would give me at least 2 hours of pain-free sleep. Cool. Some very personally painful experiences I had recently drove me back to this book. Cousins said laughter was one of the most powerful drugs to which we have access, and we don't have to pay for it. We just have to use it. I remembered feeling really bad about some things that were going on in my life, and a friend, not knowing that I was in that place, sent me a video of Sinbad, the comedian. And of course, he was hilarious. And I laughed so hard that my eyes watered and my sides ached. But the biggest surprise from this bout of laughter is that once the video was over and I was sitting still, I realized that the heaviness in my spirit was gone. It was like it had been pushed out of me, making room for other, more positive emotions to get into a position. It was a miracle. You won't even know how bad I was feeling before I had that that hour or so of laughter. So this is the week before the general election. And many people are feeling anxious and afraid and angry and nervous and worried and exhausted and a whole lot more. Perhaps this is a week where we can all find something that makes us laugh hard and immerse ourselves every day for a few minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and a treatment that is a true balm for our spirits that will come if we do what we need to do to awaken it. It's worth a try. Norman Cousins, got that diagnosis in 1964. He lived until 1990. You hear me? He lived years after his diagnosis. After he got well, he resumed playing the piano. He was a pianist, and he hadn't been able to use his fingers because of the disease. It was too painful, and they were stiff and kind of icing up on him. But he was able to play the piano using fingers that his disease had virtually frozen. He walked, he ran, and he changed careers, joining the faculty of the University of California, Los Angeles Medical School, where he became a researcher in the power of emotions on human health and healing. In 1964, the doctors said Norman Cousins had only months to live, but he defied their prognosis and guided his own healing, laughing so hard that the disease left him like the pigs in the Bible who rushed into the water and died. He lived until 1990. There is a balm for healing our anxious souls, and God, being God, plopped it within us. May we use laughter, especially this week as we get closer to Election Day. Laugh until your sides ache and free your spirit up so that it can soar regardless of the craziness of these days. Amen and amen. I am hoping that meditation resonates with you. I'm hoping that you will find something that makes you laugh. Like I said, I do Sinbad. I love it. There's other things that I go to make me laugh, but we're talking about a deep laugh. You know how sometimes when you get with girlfriends and you just be laughing, you just laugh. There's somebody will do something silly and you just laugh and laugh and laugh. That's what we're talking about. I want you to laugh and laugh and laugh and then vote. You hear what I'm saying? Laugh and laugh. Don't worry. Don't listen. Don't listen to the talk shows that they call news. Don't listen to all that. Nobody's opinion is worth your spirit. You do what you're supposed to do, and you encourage other people to vote. You help whomever you can. Make some phone calls, knock on some doors, text some people. Make sure your children are voting, your nieces and your nephews are voting. Please make sure, because I'm going to repeat, in order for us to get past this crisis point where we are, the numbers of people who vote and the margin of victory for Kamala Harris. And I'm saying Kamala Harris because I don't want Donald Trump. I don't want a dictator. I have to say it. I don't want a dictator. And I don't want somebody who has been convicted of 34 felonies to be president, and I don't want him to have the authority to put the police out on people when he should be in jail. He should be in jail. He shouldn't even be allowed to run for office. So I'm saying if Kamala doesn't win, I'm going to have a problem. But whoever you're going to vote for, vote, 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 vote. I'm voting for, I voted. I voted early. If you can vote early again, because it'll help the candidates figure out where they have to dump more money to reach people that may not yet be convinced or convicted on who it is they want to be the president. I don't know about you, but 8 years, 9 years of this guy is enough. It is enough. It is enough. It is enough. It is enough. I have been so disenchanted with him, and I will never forget. Early on, when he was first elected, I will never forget how one of my Facebook friends said that she loved Trump, and I said why, and she told me, and she said, why don't you like it? And I said, because he's going to kill our democracy. That was way back in 2016. I could see the writing on the wall, and she said, democracy needs to die. I'm telling you guys, so much is at stake. So if nothing else, think about your freedoms. Think about the fact that you won't be allowed to have protests in the street because the unitary president, that's what he wants to be, will have the power and the authority to put the police on us and just, pick us up and take us out of here. He wants to do mass deportation, taking immigrants and putting them either in tent cities or camps. And and I know that they won't absolutely or completely know that you are an immigrant. They will look at you and make some determinations and pick you up and take you and put you into a camp. And they say, oh, well, I thought I knew. That's the same. I thought that they were immigrant. I just thought. they won't have to get proof. And it's the same line of reasoning, the same sick type of thinking where somebody can shoot you and say they did it because they were in fear for their life. Please understand what is going on and use the power of your vote. Um, it is it is test time right now. So I need for you to do what you need to do. I need for all of us to do what we need to do in order to preserve our freedoms and then move forward to expand our rights in this country as American citizens. So that's it. If you want to be on the regular distribution list, crazyfaith2019 at gmail.com, you email me with your email address, of course, and then I will put you on the list. And every single Tuesday, you will get a meditation. In the name of power and freedom, go forward. Vote like your life depends on it, and vote like the lives of your children and all those who will come